All right. Kind of loud to turn down. Check. Hey there. We don't have a name for this podcast. This is called Podcast at the Library Soon.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. And we're going to do something special and have just like a regular conversation about the importance of communication in intimate relationships. And I want to start with like my personal experience of being in a relationship with someone that prides themselves on effective communication. When I haven't really been in a relationship that's the forefront, where effective communication is the forefront. The difference is for me is you're gonna have situations where it's like, oh, well, that wasn't that hard.
Mm-hmm. And I think, there's always someone there to challenge you too when you want to turn inward. So you don't get to do that.
And I still have a problem with turning inward in times of duress. And that's something I have to work on. But it is nice to have effective communication in a relationship. There's opportunity for misunderstandings when you don't have effective communication.
For sure.
And that was like one of the keys for last year.
That was a major key for us anyway.
Yeah.
Is to continue to work on it daily, and then we got to bear the fruit of that by having a healthy relationship. So I attribute that to how much time we spend communicating every single day.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Bren'Tel podcast. That's what this is.
Our Hollywood name.
This is Bren'Tel and Janelle. This is the Bren'Tel Hour.
Brought to you by Black Love.
That's pretty good. No, but like, okay, for you, would you say you've had in your past effective communications?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been an advocate for good communication, but that has probably never been reciprocated, or no one has felt like it was worth really diving into and picking apart, issues from the past and trying to grow and be better and have that dialogue. I've always valued that, but I have not gotten that in return. So I think for me, this relationship has really flourished because we both value good communication. And it's something that we not only see the value in, but we're willing to do the work every day and show up whether we feel like it or not. So that's been different for me.
Okay. I want to dive a little deeper, like as far as like every corner of the communication part, but we're just freestyling right now. So like we probably left a lot of meat on the bone. As far as like you said working on a relationship, how is it for you? Like the book we read about the thirds, you know what I'm saying? Like the outside influences of a relationship. Accepting like how much time you're spending building your relationship.
I think for me, it's always been whether or not it's been worth it to put that much work in. And so I feel like with you, it's been worth putting that work in every day. And so you show up, like I said, and I think that one of the things that we did early on was to talk about potential threats, and the thirds, if you want to break that down, basically outside noise. Whether that's in the form of people,
family,
family, friends,
job,
exes, whatever, however that takes shape. But I think we early on broke that down, and we were realistic about the fact that those thirds could potentially be threats. So I think that's been a good thing for us. We explored it and we were proactive about it instead of being reactive. And we had like a game plan for how to tackle it. So that's really, for me, like, that's been huge. You feel like that too?
Yeah, I agree. Like, you about to get a text. I think, far as like the part about spending, like how much time you're spending, like, because when you're spending time building a relationship, it takes away from, outside influences and time that you could spend with like family and friends and shit. Like, how have you balanced that?
I think that is something that is ongoing, like that balancing act, because we both have friends and we have, first and foremost, we have children and we have jobs, and then, we have, other family members. So it's a constant state of juggling, and then, reevaluating and asking yourself, am I spending enough time in this area or that area? And then, but it's also understanding the importance of what we're trying to build, and understanding that takes precedence, before a lot of the other outside, circumstances and relationships. So it's a constant balancing act, but I think that we're navigating it pretty well. I think that, for me, it's like I'm trying to still, keep in touch with my friends, and, and I know you do the same, but sometimes it's kind of difficult, because I think your friends sometimes have, and or family have this expectation that nothing is supposed to change. You're supposed to still have the same amount of time you had before, and the same energy to put into, that relationship that you had with them, but it shifted a little bit. And so for me, it's like, I want that understanding, and that support, and that hasn't always been there. So it sucks.
For me, like, I've dealt with similar things. Like, okay, would you say, like, because we had a conversation about, like, if you had friends and they were, like, kind of negative towards, your relationship or how much time you're spending. I can't remember what you said about that. What did you say? Exactly.
I said, let me think about it, because it was real good. Basically, I am choosing to put energy into my relationship because it's positive. I am not going to take away time being put into a positive relationship and building a healthy relationship to deal with drama, to deal with, negativity, and, a lack of understanding. I'm not going to take time away from my positivity. My goal, and I'm not going to let the drama distract me. I'm not going to give energy to that when really it's more deserving to deal with the positive aspects of my relationship. So, in a nutshell, does that kind of encapsulate?
I was going to speak to like the hold on for a second. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and slap this on there. Speak to far as like how deliberate and calculated we were in our approach of building a relationship. And I think, hold on, damn it. The approach of building a relationship, like, okay, so that shit sound like we party. Let me turn this down.
Hey, in the club.
Why does it sound like that?
It sounds really loud.
Them highs is beating. So let me turn this shit off. Because it's so close to the microphone.
You need to cut it.
Well, okay. As far as like time, like friends that necessarily don't value the approach that you are taking, the road that you're taking, they've never been on it. How it's like a discrepancy in like how you guys view relationships and like how you not tackle but like build, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like this go around, right, my approach was totally different. And I was deliberate about communication, transparency, and just making sure I was always on the same page and like being emotionally available, things of that nature. I think having that platform built for us to stand on, and it's not everybody does that,
right?
So you can't identify with it.
Right. And to add to that, if you've never had a healthy relationship yourself, you will never be able to understand the amount of effort and work it takes to build it. If you've never had to go through that yourself. So if you haven't gone through that, then you're really not going to understand, someone else. Right. When you see it in someone else. Why are you doing that? Why you got to spend so much time together? You don't have enough time for me. And it's like, if you had a healthy relationship yourself or knew what it looked like, then you would get it and you wouldn't be offended. So,
let's see. So, time, communication, intimacy. I think being open to new things, when it comes to intimacy, like for me, it's like being in areas that I've never been in, emotionally. Excuse me. Sorry. Being in different areas like that I'm not used to. I'm not being out of my comfort zone. As far as intimacy, how that allowed me to grow in that area and move forward in building our relationship it's a new thing for me. So for you, how important is the intimacy part, like far as on every scale. I think it's important.
I think it is too. I think people automatically assume when you say intimacy that it means like sex or, the physicality of it, but it's so much deeper than that. It's being vulnerable. It's being open. It's being like brutally honest, which we are a little too much sometimes because we just say it how it is, but it ends up being so hilarious at the same time, but also eye-opening. For me, it was having the freedom to be vulnerable, to let go, and allow you to really see me. That took some time, but I was like really yearning for that and ready to have that kind of love, where I could say what was on my heart. I could share like my innermost feelings and just, anything from the past or anything that I have held in for so long. It was just so freeing to be able to like let that go and know that I could trust you with it, and it was like a safe space. And that was like a game changer for me because I've never had that before.
So that was it for you. It's like intimacy on a new level.
Yeah, mentally, emotionally, actually having a true friendship. That has been like, to me, like one of the best parts, is developing a friendship with you, like outside of just the romantic elements and just, man, like just really getting into that. Like we have so much fun and we laugh like all the time about this silliest stuff, but it's like it's pure comedy. And it's like I have yearned, like I said, to have all of that like wrapped into a relationship. It's so dope.
I forgot what I was going to say, where I was going to go, because I don't have anything written down. But I think I was going to go with
A freestyle?
You said something about being allowed to be yourself.
Yes.
Do you feel like at this point of our relationship that you are completely like accepted?
Yeah. I think you have seen me like truly. The good days, the not so good days, the sad times, the happy times, the in between. You've seen it all. And I don't feel like I have to be perfect. I can be me. I can, I have flaws, and you know them, and my strengths, and you still love me, So it's awesome, honestly.
I feel the same way about being seen, like like the strengths and weaknesses, and it's there's a good and bad too. Being fully seen, because a person can know what buttons to push, and you know them.
You don't mind, and call you on your shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I appreciate you for that though. But
same. Yeah.
I keep losing my train of thought. But being seen,
being heard.
Yeah, being heard.
Yeah.
How is that for me knowing that, oh, I can call and bounce an idea, or hey, what do you think about this scenario, or and have like a conversation with substance is very important, and is something not so much, I wouldn't say new, because like I have friends to do that, but like having that in my significant other is a first.
Same. I think that, and we started that early on. Like, we talked about like so many things, and it wasn't like cliche stuff. Like, you know, obviously you have to get to know a person, and so there's questions that you ask, like, what's your favorite color? But it was beyond that. It was like we talked about like current events and like what's going on in the world, and like deeper level like conversations, and literally like we still continue that to this day. And so I think that it's really cool too, because for me it's like when something bad happens, it's like you're the first person I think of, like when I want to share whatever it is, and then if it's good, like I have good news, it's like you're still the first person that I want to call and share it with. And I just think that's cool, because it's like we are there for each other, you know, through whatever it is. And then it's like we have, there's no, for me, hesitation in, you know, whatever the situation is. Like I want to tell you about it. I want to get your feedback. I want to know, you know, how you would handle something. And I do that, like, you know, a lot. Just your thoughts, because, you know, you're my friend. So I
have to start with a better name. The journey of a relationship is what we'll call this.
yeah.
Second, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, that's what it was. You know, when like I realized we had something special is when like we spent a lot of time together, and I never got tired of you.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
You won't go home.
Right.
Get off the phone.
I never got tired of you, so I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah, and it could be just hours of talking on the phone, or, you know, days being together for hours all day, and I'm never like, ugh, like I'm tired of you. Like it's even if we don't do anything, literally, but chill at the house. You know what I'm saying? We'll go, you know, do our errands and run around and do nothing, or go to Costco with Sam's. Like, that's our entertainment. But then we could flip it, you know what I'm saying, and go to a comedy club and have a ball.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Our like fondness for comedy is something that we bonded over, and that helped bond our relationship. Because comedy is like a safety blanket for our relationship.
Yeah, we use it a lot. It's infused like every day. Like we have too many inside jokes, but I think that's what comedy, laughter is our go-to, you know, because this life is hard, and you need that.
Yeah, for sure. My dad always said, "Man, you got to laugh to keep from crying."
Man, that's a real shit. Every day.
He said, "Find the funny."
Yeah,
this is what he says.
We definitely do that.
So, let's see, comedy in a relationship.
Just doing life, you know.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like with like running errands, that should be fun. Because there's gonna be some stupid shit that happen.
Yeah, or just like people watching.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Eddie Murphy. Oh, that was an inside joke. But yeah, and it's stuff we don't even look for. We're just going down the aisle at Kroger.
Some shit pop off.
just like that. Come for days, weeks. So.
It is dope because you can guarantee for something like that to happen. Like, it just be out of nowhere.
Yeah, the gas station.
Which one?
At the Shell when the dude's car got stolen. Pure comedy. We walked right into it.
I was literally telling her a story. Like, hey, you like, she asked, like, so what is it like out here? Like, meaning like Fremont. And I'm like, nah, I mean, it's cool. It's like, it's not really no crime. Don't know shit like that really pop off. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Nothing really happens. It's safe. And like, literally right after I said that, this dude come running out of the gas station.
We walking down the street.
We walking outside. We just walking through the town or whatever. And I'm just showing her things, but he come running out of the gas and he's like waving down a cop. Like, wait, no, stop. And we like, what's going on? And then he said, somebody just stole my car. And I was like, God damn. I literally just said, crime and shit don't happen around here.
I wrote it better myself. It was like literally
like,
right as he was saying.
And then we like, you supposed to cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
That would have been perfect. Like, what are the odds of that? These are things that happen like all the time. Oh, but, man.
I guess you had to be there.
You had to. There's no crime in Fremont.
Hey, the shit don't be going down like that.
He got gas for his car.
That's literally how it sounded, too. But I don't know, man. All in all, I enjoy your company. I enjoy like who you are as a person, and I look forward to continuing to build a relationship with you.
Same. It don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you're great. I mean, we're just great together. Mm-hmm. Honestly.
Okay. How is it being in this relationship and dealing with the negative stuff? Mm-hmm. How is it for you this time around? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I actually feel stronger. Like, I feel, that's there. But for me, it's like, I'm okay with people, like, not having support. Because I think that, for me, it's like, as long as me and you are good, then the outside noise doesn't
No, I'm talking
matter.
about negative in the relationship. Negative situations where it's like, friction or whatever.
How we deal with it?
Yeah. Like, just for you. Mm-hmm. Like, how your approach is in our relationship versus,
Okay, I got you.
In the past.
Okay, got you. I think for me, because we have built this foundation of like built on like respect, and communicating and like respectfully communicating. For me, it's like I channel that. Whenever there's a situation that's negative. I mean, obviously, like neither one of us is perfect, but I think that I'm more intentional because I respect you as a person, and so my approach is like rooted in that. So for me, like in the past, it's like if that hasn't been there, so I wasn't as mindful of like, okay, how am I going to say this, or like, what am I, like, not even how, but like the what. A lot of times I didn't really care because it was like, you gonna get it or you get it. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, dang, like I respect you. So it's like, okay, I'm mindful of that. And it's like, I want to practice good communication, even when, we don't agree. Still thinking about like, okay, it's not just about my perspective, and it's like, I'm factoring in with you, how you feel about something, because you're my friend. And it's like, I want to, even if we don't agree, I want to hear what you have to say. It's that. It's just, it's huge. I think when you genuinely care about the person and their feelings, it changes your approach. I know for me, it's like with us, it's like we don't argue for real.
I was just about to say that. I was about to, because I was going to be a little bit more transparent with it. Like,
Yeah.
We don't argue over like anything like serious. We don't really be having anything serious to argue over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'd be like little like goofy shit. And then when you think about it, like, because we have built so much goodwill that for me, I'd be like, were you tripping about this? You know what I'm saying? To myself.
Yeah.
To myself. Like, bro, you trip, like, it ain't even that serious. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the grand scheme, like, zoom out, look at the big picture.
Mm-hmm. And I think the question that you, like, put it to me was like, okay, is this going to matter?
In 10 years.
Exactly. And so the answer is no. Because the things that we do, like, disagree on or whatever, it's like, it's petty. Like, it's like little, it's just petty stuff, like bickering and stuff. But it's like we don't.
That's usually like, that has some humor cloaked in it too.
Yeah. It almost always does. And then it's like we don't stay mad. Like, it's not even mad, or it's more like annoyed. Like, we don't stay annoyed long because somebody, like, I'm going to say something stupid to make you laugh, or you're going to say something to me, and it's just like, it's over with. But, like, even in, like, if it is something that's, like, more serious or whatever, it's like, it's still, we're going to find some humor in it some kind of way. But it is, though, still, like, like, going back to just, like, I'm not going to talk to you crazy. Like, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to, like, hurt you, or, I'm just, like, intentional about it. And it's, like, there's no narcissism involved. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do something or I do something, and it's, like, we don't like to have, like, tension, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we both want to, like, get that out of the way, like, get it over with so we can go back to, like, our normal dynamic. So we don't stay down long at all.
Which we got to do this. Do you think, because when we first started, like, we built this thing called the Vibe Revival. And what that consisted of was, like, considering whatever got the vibe off between us, and, like, looking at the grand big picture and, like, addressing it. And that's how we stay cool. You know what I'm saying? Stay cool. But now it's like humor is like the Vibe Revival.
Yep.
Now
it's our, like, go-to. It's foolproof. Like, it works for us. Now, it might not work for everybody, because you gotta,
y'all niggas ain't funny,
right? You ain't got it like us. But I ain't hitting on nothing. But we but it works for us. And I think in any relationship, it's like you gotta go with what works best, for your situation. And for us, it's like humor. It has always been, like, our bread and butter. So
yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Any angle you want to approach?
I think
because this could just be Volume 1, Journey of a Relationship, Volume 1.
Yeah. If you need advice, we're available between the hours of.
I'm not doing advice. I'm not doing advice on your relationship, because
email us your question.
You can ask for a friend about a relationship, or have us go back and forth about a scenario. But I don't want to do relationships, because that puts, like, oh, y'all are perfect, or y'all are the end all be all. No, we not. We're not at all. You know what I'm saying? But I would hear you out. Yeah. If you need some ear to talk to or whatever, hit us up. Yeah. And we can talk. Man, we'll give our thoughts and opinions on whatever you got going on. But like, I wouldn't say it's come to me for advice.
Be calling us now. We still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, I think that we are two imperfect people that are perfect for each other.
Yeah.
By no means are we like experts or whatever. But you know, we're doing it. Like, we are really just growing every day, and I'm just trying to maintain, you know, a healthy relationship. So
You know what? This is the part, like, I don't know how to feel about this, but this thought that I always have, like, this shit ain't hard.
it's not. I think there's this misconception that love is hard and you got to fight, and you know, yeah, sometimes true, you do, depending on the situation, but it's really supposed to be easy. Like,
Ooh. I just had an epiphany. You know how Kobe said, when you doing something you love, it's not hard to do it. And that's how I feel about, like, the effort that I put into our relationship.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's just not like work.
yep, it's what I want to be doing,
Yeah.
and so that's
Not to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You could. That's the difference, though. It doesn't feel like work. It's something I genuinely, I want to do this. I want to be here, and I think that's it. That's why it doesn't feel like work. We have goals. You know, we have things that we want to achieve together, and we're a good team.
Even like with like stress and shit like that, like from maybe like financial or like, you know, thirds, family, you know, exes or whatever, kids. We lean on each other a lot,
Yeah.
and like, you're always like the ear for me to vent to, and, you know, get my thoughts straight.
And you
And
do
work
the same
things
for
out.
me. Yeah.
So that's always like, that's a good part of building a foundation for us, like relationships. Having a shelter to go to when there's a storm in your life.
Yep. And you need that. I wish that for everyone.
Is there anything else?
I don't think so. I think that for our thirds, it would be great to have that support, you know, because we really are trying to do big things. We're trying to do, you know, positive things. We, you know, we just need that understanding. We don't need it. I mean, it's nice to have. We don't need it or anything, but it's like,
Well, see, that's where we differ. Like, cause like for me, yeah, that support is great to have, but at the end of the day, like, when you know that, like, how serious our relationship is, like, I'm cool with it being us against the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It shouldn't have to be that, but if
Right.
it is, like, we down like 4 flat tires.
right. If it comes down to that,
So
for sure.
It is what it is.
We got it. With or without y'all.
not that that's what we want,
In a nice way.
but yeah. So I don't have anything else. I think this could be like a extra show that's added onto my stream.
Yeah.
This is cool.
You know, I think I'm getting better.
Yeah, I just got you. The key is to put you in a position where you can just speak freely, and you don't have to think. You don't have to worry about offending people. You just
Yeah.
because you can't be offended about our relationship. You know what I'm saying?
You can't feel no way about it.
Yeah, so we're free.
Yeah.
and how we talk. So, with that being said, I don't have anything else. I will probably come up with a ending and an intro for this. But I like this, the journey of a relationship.
I like it too.
All
Feels
right.
good.
Episode 1.
Done.